Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of Task Clarity with Melody. Have you heard someone proudly say, I'm on Cap 30? Or perhaps you have heard another person say, I am on the 3-tier pension scheme. Then the debate begins. One person says that Cap 30 is better. No. The other person says that the 3-tier pension scheme is better. But let me ask you a very simple question. Do you really know what Cap 30 is? Or you are simply repeating what you have heard? Today, I'm going to explain what Cap 30 is in simple English. I'm going to explain what Cap 30 is, who qualifies for it, who is covered, why it still exists, and why thousands of public sector workers still ask questions about it. So if you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a police officer, you're an immigration officer, you're an auditor, you're a judge, you're a lawyer, or any public sector servant, this episode is for you. What is Cap 30? Let's begin with the basics as always. When we talk about Cap 30 simply refers to a legacy pension arrangement that existed before Ghana introduced the 3-tier pension scheme. So unlike today's pension system, Cap 30 was designed as a government-funded pension arrangement for specific categories of public offices, not for everyone. Now, its main purpose was to provide retirement income to eligible officers after many years of dedicated service. Now, why is it called Cap 30? Many people think Cap 30 means 30 years of service. Now, this is not true. One of the biggest misconceptions is that Cap 30 means you must work for 30 years before you qualify for a pension. Now, this is not true. The name Cap 30 has nothing to do with 30 years of service or 30% of your salary. Now, it comes from the old pensions ordinance where the law was identified as Chapter 30. Now, over time, people simply started referring to the pension arrangement as Cap 30 and the name has remained. So, the name Cap 30 comes from the old legal framework that established the pension arrangement, not from the number of years someone must work. Chapter 30, Cap 30. Now, who qualify for Cap 30? This is one of the biggest misconceptions. Not every public sector worker qualifies for Cap 30. Over the years, Ghana introduced pension reforms and many public servants became part of the 3-tier pension scheme. Today, Cap 30 continues to apply mainly to categories of public officers whose pensions arrangements remain governed by specific laws. And these include judges, state attorneys, certain officers within the security services where the applicable law provides, certain officers within the audit service where the applicable law provides. So Cap 30 is a special pension arrangement that currently applies to specific categories of public officers. Most public sector employees today are covered by the 3-tier pension scheme. The exact position depends on the legal framework governing that institution and the officer's employment. Now, who is not on Cap 30? This may surprise you. Many people assume that every government worker is on Cap 30. That is incorrect. For example, many employees in the public service, including many teachers, many nurses, midwives, civil servants employed under the current pension framework are covered by the 3-tier pension scheme rather than Cap 30. Now, do Cap 30 beneficiaries contribute every month? Now, this is another common question. Historically, Cap 30 was established as a non-contributory pension scheme, which was funded by the government. So that is one of the major differences between Cap 30 and the 3-tier pension scheme, where contributions are made by employers and employees under the law. Now, the applicable arrangement today depend on the legal provisions governing the specific service. Now, what are the benefits of Cap 30? People often ask, why do people like Cap 30? So some of the reasons commonly mentioned about Cap 30 is that it's a government-funded retirement arrangement for eligible officers. Another reason too is that it's a predictable retirement benefit under the applicable pension rules. It also a monthly pension payment after retirement for eligible beneficiaries. But I want you to know that Entitlement and benefit levels depend on the applicable law and the officer's pensionable service. Now, let me take some few minutes to correct some myth about Cap 30. Now, the first myth I want to correct: every public sector worker is on Cap 30. No, that is false. It is not true. Another myth I want to correct is that every security officer is automatically on Cap 30. No, not necessarily. It depends on the governing law for that service. Another myth I want to correct is that Cap 30 and SSNIT are the same. It is not true. This is false. They are not the same. They are different pension arrangements. The last myth I want to correct is that everyone can choose to join Cap 30. No, that is false. The pension arrangement that applies to you is determined by law, not by personal choice. So you cannot decide to be on Cap 30 or decide to be on the 3-tier pension scheme. No. Why should you care? Now, whether you are on Cap 30 or the 3-tier pension scheme, understanding your pension is part of your financial literacy. Now, retirement planning should never begin a few months before retirement. It should begin from your very first salary. I always tell people, knowledge is one of the best investments you can make. The more you understand your pension, the better decisions you can make about your future. And so, next week in part 2, I'll answer a few questions everyone asks. How are Cap 30 retirement benefits determined? What happens when a Cap 30 officer retires? How does Cap 30 compare with the 3-tier pension scheme? I guess you don't want to miss this. And so, stay tuned and remember, this is Task Clarity with Melody. I will see you again in the next episode. Bye.